Terminator Genisys stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Emilia, Clarke, Courtney, Jason Clarke, and it's directed by Alan Taylor, who made Thor: The Dark World, everyone's least favorite Marvel movie. I admit, it's not that good. For some reason I like it a little bit, but in my opinion, Iron Man 2 is way fucking worse than Thor: The Dark World. That's just me. And this is the 5th Terminator movie, but according to James Cameron, this might as well be the 3rd, because he considers this like the proper 3rd movie in the franchise. He does not like the 3rd one. He doesn't like Terminator Salvation, and neither do I. In my opinion, 3, while it kept its R rating, it had some goofy moments, but it's just overall, I don't like it. The 3rd movie I just don't like all that much, and the 4th movie, they were trying something new, but it really, I mean, fuck. The most memorable thing about the movie is the rant Christian Bale had. Nothing to do with the movie, just his rant on set. Oh, good for you, and how was it? No, I'm not gonna go for a fucking walk. It's this guy that needs to stop fucking walking on my set. You and me are fucking done professionally, mate. Fucking ass. And this one, to describe the plot, it's going to be very basic because there's a lot of things involved, and honestly, sometimes with time travel movies, things get so complicated that to try sum it up briefly is very difficult and hard. But essentially, Kyle Reese is in the future with John Connor. It's the classic Terminator laser battle against the machines in the way future, and then they send Kyle Reese back to save Sarah Connor because they send a Terminator back to kill John Connor's mother, Sarah Connor. And when he gets there, we're back in the 80s, the setting of the original movie, but suddenly there's a T-1000 and Sarah Connor's a badass, and there's already a T-800 there, and he's like old now. They sent him back way before, so everything's already been changed. So the ideas of Terminator 1, 2, and yes, 3 and 4 are pretty much wiped out, and it's like a whole new timeline, an alternate timeline universe going on. And it's pretty much like X-Men Days of Future Past. You know, there's some really shitty movies going on, so while there is good stuff, there's a lot of bad stuff too, and we're just gonna kind of reboot with time travel and erase it and start all over again, sorta. And they do this here, and that's kind of a reason probably why a lot of people hate this is, I love Terminator 1 and 2. Like, not just them, I do too. Those movies are fucking great. And this movie's resetting it like, all the cool stuff never happened, it's an alternate timeline now, new stuff's gonna happen. If the movie's good and you like what it's saying it's gonna go on with, you kind of go with it. And the problem with this one is, while it is erasing and trying to do new stuff you'd think, it kind of treads on a lot of similar ground as the first 2 amazing movies, and the stuff that they kind of like, this will be the new future and how it's gonna go from here, it's not as interesting really. And that's kind of just a basic plot idea. There's a lot more going on in this movie. There's a couple twists which, if you've seen one of the posters, the second trailer, they spoil it. The idiots in the marketing spoil it. It's not exactly a great twist, but it's an interesting twist. Like, that's cool. And if you didn't see the poster or the second trailer, I stayed away from the second trailer, but I had an idea of what might happen because of the poster. I was like, you fucking dummies, why? I'll talk about that in a spoiler review to talk about how that all works. But the idea, like that, basically the twist is the only thing really new or interesting, which apparently they were going to do in Terminator Salvation. It's like, and they do it here, and it's interesting, like it's a new concept, neat. They're doing something new, and another thing they do is new with like an older Terminator. Why does Arnold look old in this one? That works, but overall, like generally, the first bit is the setting of the first with a little bit of the plot of the second, and then we're like jumping forward in time or back in time, whatever, and all these things are happening. Skynet's this, and then what's going on here. Just lots of, it gets very muddled and convoluted with how things are going. And also, like, yeah, there's cool action stuff going on, but the ideas that they're setting forth have already been done. The idea of there is no set future, there is no fate. You know, you can change the future, you can change the past, nothing's set in stone. You can affect the future and save it, and this and that. Like, we've seen that in the first 2 movies, all these themes and ideas, so when you're seeing them in this, it just kind of like, well, I've seen that before. The plot's a little bit different, but the themes and ideas I've seen before. I know what's going on, really. And then they try to tack on a real nice happy ending. It's like, it feels like they just went back to try and give it a happier ending to the first 2 movies. It's like, those movies were fine enough as it was. And so this, you got some new things, but it's not new enough, really. A couple interesting ideas and a lot of familiar themes and like elements of the plot. And as far as directing goes, Alan Taylor, you know, he apparently did great work on Game of Thrones. I'm eventually going to start that show, but it kind of feels like with most TV directing, you never really want to stand out. You want to keep it all the same because it's TV, so never stick out too much as a director. And in Thor: The Dark World, his directing was not amazing. With most Marvel movies, the directors never stick out and say, hey, look at me, I'm exciting. Otherwise, Edgar Wright would have made Ant-Man. And in this too, there's never directing that feels like this is amazing. He's doing something really interesting and cool as a director. Never. He does a competent job, but that's about it. The writing, meh, and the acting is kind of a mixed bag. Arnold does the Terminator, as usual, fantastic. He does great. He's really good as the Terminator. Just awesome as the Terminator. Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor, fantastic, because she's pretty, but you believe that she's a ass kicker. You believe she could beat the shit out of someone. Even though she's not like as jacked as Linda Hamilton was in Terminator 2, you still believe she could kick some ass. Courtney, I've defended this guy a few times. I defended him in Divergent, and I defended him in Die Hard 5 when I shouldn't have, honestly. He wasn't that good in that. And in this, yeah, it's true. The guy is kind of a bland, forgettable actor where he does a competent job. You watch and you're like, okay. But he's never like doing anything interesting. He's kind of just a bland main guy. He's very bland, never does anything exciting or interesting. And Jason Clarke kind of does that too, where he never really gets to do a whole lot. He has some fun scenes, but kind of bland overall. No one was outright horrible, but generally it was more generic, bland, forgettable. But with Kyle Reese, that's a problem because Jai Courtney does sort of a bland, forgettable, standard performance. And you go back to the first one, Michael Biehn, that guy was intense as John Connor. He was really good, intense, awesome. So when you see like, yeah, remember the first one, he was an intense badass, and this one he kind of just wanders around like, what's going on? Oh, that's the what? Like he just kind of constantly like, what is going on? I'm fucking confused rather than being an intense badass. It kind of bugs me a little bit. But whatever, it's new. They're trying to do new stuff, and I think they already have like a couple sequels planned. It's like if they're gonna, where this one takes off, it's like they're gonna go on from here. Okay, I'm not as into it because the new timeline they set, like this is how it's gonna be now. If you want to do it, hopefully the sequels are better, but it's just not as exciting as they probably wanted it to be. They probably wanted us to be all excited, like, yes, this is going to be badass to see it continue like this. And to me, it just felt they're really trying hard to be more of a happy ending in this and that. It's like, eh. The movie was very funny though, too, I gotta say. It's got really good comedic timing. There's a lot of very funny moments in the movie, which was nice to have a good laugh here and there. It was funny. But yeah, just as a sequel, this movie's getting raped by critics, okay? It's got like a 25 on Rotten Tomatoes or something. People hate this movie. They hate it. And as a fan of the first two, I won't say that I hate it, but it's kind of just disappointing, forgettable, where it's got some good things about it, but overall, this is the new, like, the universe is reset, alternate timeline. We're going on from here like this. I'm not as interested. I would give Terminator Genisys a C-. Like I said, there was good things in it, mostly forgettable, generic, bland things, and yeah, I'm just not interested in where it's going from here, and I guess the best is to hope that hopefully the sequels do it better, but they probably only got the sequels because in 2019 the rights revert back to James Cameron unless they do more movies probably, so they're just like, fucking do movies, even though they should let James Cameron take it back so he can either do another great one or just keep it, saying no one's fucking touching my Terminator baby anymore. I handed it out, you violated it, it's mine, it's staying with me. So comment below, tell me thought of Terminator Genisys. Did you absolutely fucking hate it like everyone else? Did you like it? I've heard some people like it and that's great. Me, just kind of middle of the road, like wasn't horrible, was not good by any means, just a meh movie with some good things about it. What did you think of Terminator Genisys? I will do a spoiler review to talk about some of the other things, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.